What else? What else? And out of that, we came out with the best songs. I think one that is called Open Heaven. Open Heaven was a song I wrote and when I wrote it, it was a time when our country was literally going through so much turmoil, as we know, with the political sphere. Nothing to be embarrassed about, the Zuma phase, and everyone literally saying, but where is the church? Why aren't churches doing anything? Why aren't we saying a lot? And we've seen even recently with the adopting of girls, you know, a high rate in rape, high rate in this. And the message for me that came out of the book was that, you know what, many are the kingdoms of this world, but it's God's kingdom that will always overlast.
You are God and there's no you are God. There's no other, none can compare to you.
Then same time on is
we are devoted to you. All the earth shall be saved. You are God and there's no other, none can compare to you.
But also God is one that needs to open up our hearts. The Bible says that each and every man's heart belongs to God, even the kings, even the governments, even the people in leadership, which is why the Bible says, if you want peace, pray for the leaders. It doesn't say pray for Christians who are leaders. It says pray for them so that there may be peace in the land. And when I wrote that song, it was based on the book of Isaiah, which simply says, open up wide the heavens, let your righteousness flow within us, let salvation bear its fruit. And salvation for me is a simple word that says to be salvaged. When all of us, when you are a human being, you are basically not usable. You are basically you're basically at a point where or in a rude way, or you're a skunk. But God takes you and He makes you reusable, because we as human, no one is without sin. We are so, all of us, blamed with sin because of the things that we do, because of the thoughts that we think about. But God has been able to take us through His Son, Jesus Christ, and today we are able to be called His children. So that was the song. And another song that we had there, which was actually co-written by myself and executively produced by a friend of mine. He's a pastor as well, Pastor Nelson. The song is called Risen King. And Risen King is a song that is of celebration. And we've mixed the sounds, anything. You'll hear the samba, you'll hear the Caribbean flow, you'll hear jazz, you'll hear rock. Why? Because each one has to find themselves in the song. I think God is at a point where He's using sound to unite people from all over. It's not about just being African. writing an English song or doing an overseas sound doesn't mean you've abandoned your Africanness, but it simply says that you are in tune with what's happening. So there's a sound that God has released, I think, upon the church, which is literally uniting each and every one of us, whether you're from the US or Africa, whatever it is, which is why you can feel exactly the times that we are in. And The Risen King is simply a song that says Jesus is coming back again.
Shouts of joy is coming again. Hallelujah, hallelujah. With shouts of joy, shouts of joy, coming back again. Hallelujah.
He is coming back to do what? To judge the world, where all kings and all tongues they shall confess, all knees they shall bow down, to say that he is Lord. And that song is simply a dance song, and it's a song that we wrote with the aim to say, whether you play it for South Africa, you play it in the US, you play it for Zimbabwe or Nigeria, it must just sit within the church. So I'm quite excited about that one song. Another song, which is the fourth one, is called Mayenziwe Indani.
Jehovah ling namandla line Sambeke.
Many are our plans, many are the plans of men, but it is God's plan that prevails, and which is why the greatest prayer, when the disciples said, teach us how to pray, he said, just say, our Father, whom art in heaven. And it simply says at the end, your will be done as it is in heaven. Because whatever we see with our naked eye, whatever that's happening around us, is actually a manifestation of what is truly happening in the spiritual realm. Example, us sitting here, we're literally sitting in what is in the past with God. But for us, it looks as if we're in the present time, which is then the future. So that is the 4-piece project. And the aim, and I hope that anyone that listens to it really finds not the song themselves, not how it sounds, but the spirit of how we wrote the songs, because we wrote them with the intent to unite people, with the intent to glorify God, with the intent to push through and to push through the current times that we are facing, the difficult area that we are in, where it seems as if the world is just getting worse and worse and worse. It's not getting any better. But because with our open eyes, that's what we see. But the Bible says that in as much as evil is this much, the grace of God is actually above that. So there's still hope. But the greatest of all is also faith and love. So yeah. I look at the, let me see. On the project, we've got one of the best drummers in the country, I think, Sabu Sacha. So Sabu plays for well, we started seeing him on Joyous Celebration, and he is such a role model even for young upcoming musicians who want to be drummers. And his spirit is so humbled. You know, I remember Xoli saying that, you know what, if there's one person I can vouch for, that I know that he'll come and do the best that he can, is actually Sabu. And it was my first time meeting him. And I was so amazed even by, you know, the level of his professionalism. His drum is as big as this room. It filled the booth. And he played from his heart. He was also there in the production. Another two guys that I met, Tsepo Moloi and Sipho Mabena, I've always seen them on, you know, with them, whether on TV doing their thing, playing for other artists. But they're so fun, so focused, and very innovative. I think the best thing and the best place that one can be, especially at this day and age when working with musicians who are seasoned, and you are coming as a musician probably who's still learning, is to have people who won't impose their opinions on you. The last thing you want is, as a musician, and you come probably with a sound, or you heard a song in a certain way, and you walk away thinking, man, this song has literally changed so much that it doesn't even sound the way that I wanted. So that's something that I made, you know, that was welcomed even by the team, to say, guys, even if, as much as we'll put our innovation, our ideas, but the song has to be still original, because then when I walk away, I'm still to be the one that sings it. And I was glad that there was that welcoming thoughts from everyone. And also the vocal backing vocals. We had a gentleman called, his name is very funny, Once More. His name is Once More. Why Once More? He had a story behind it. It's not for me to tell it. But his name basically was a prophetic from his parents to say they're having once more another child. He sang tenor on the vocals. We also had Ndombi Futhi Nhlapo, beautiful alto. You know, you can even hear the smoothness of her voice in the production. Soprano, we had Refilwe Sebagi.
Yeah? Mamrudi.
And myself, obviously, from leading vocals, as said, there was room to be myself. So the title of the CD is actually called AfterCreation. And when we started thinking about what are we going to call it, and the team, we started debating, and it was actually a fact that, you know what, now that you're done, you've created, then what? So after creation, we know God created. He created out of dust. It also says that we shall return to dust. So even the cover was that it was not so much about me, less of me, more of him. So it wasn't about posing, looking a certain way, which is why we had that optical type of look. So it's called After Creation because there's a story behind it. Because after creation of anything, we all have to choose our path. After God created all of us, the one thing that we have, which is powerful, each person, is the power to choose, the power of will. And it's amazing that for every day, as humans, we are the only species in the world that can literally create because we've got the image of God. So the title itself is called after that, After Creation, because after all is said and done, we are to live, and it's in the living that each one has got a different testimony. So yeah, I hope people will be blessed by this.
Where will people get your CD?
The CD is readily available on all digital platforms, iTunes, Google Play, you name it, even on Amazon. And also, we're busy with distribution, so it will be in stores very soon. So even the book itself, you can get it on all digital platforms, and you can also order on the website given kukuletunkuta.com.
Oh, I didn't know you had a website. Yeah, what's on the
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to click the subscribe button now. For more, go to my website, kukuletunkuta.com, and you can find all information on all my social platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And stay tuned for more weekly updates. Thank you for subscribing. Goodbye.